Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Randy, and I hate to start out with a bunch of negativity, but I felt compelled to participate in Brian the Embryonic Robot's thread of 10 songs I hate. He also has gone on a couple rants about quality control at record companies. So I wanted to, Brian's a good guy though. So I just wanted to support him and do his thread, but to put a little positivity in there, I'm going to also participate in Gary at Physical Format Rock and Rolls. 5 songs that are overplayed that I still like, which maybe it'll show Brian up if I do that. And of course, Gary's been doing all kinds of videos out in his cornfield and everything, and for what I understand, we might see some crop circles later, but we'll wait and see. But anyway, so I'm going to participate in those 2 threads. So first off, the 10 songs I hate. Well, I don't know if I hate these songs. I dislike them, but we'll see here. So also, before I get started, I decided that to make it a little more difficult, because there's a lot of songs out there I don't like at all, that I could name of artists I don't have any of their music. But I decided I have to actually have this song and dislike it. So it's an artist I have some of their music for a certain reason, but I just don't like the song that they did. So that's where I'm coming from on this. And the first one is going to be from Elvis Presley. This came out in 1956, his second album on RCA, and it's the dog dying song, Old Shep, partly written by Red Foley, like the king of the tragic, sad songs on country charts like Teddy Bear and Giddy Up Go. But if you're in the mood for a song about a dog dying, I guess Old Shep's for you, instead of watching a whole movie like Old Yeller. Hope I didn't ruin the ending for you. But yeah, Old Shep. This is a great album. Old Shep is not for me on this one. Next might be the song I dislike the most of these, and I consider it the worst cover tune of all time. I know Aaron Mutha Alamare showed this, but I have to show it too, and that's Guns N' Roses' version of Knocking on Heaven's Door. Knocking on Heaven's Door. But God, this drives me crazy whenever I hear that. I love the Dylan tune. I love it in the Sam Peckinpah movie, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. But this is just atrocious by Guns N' Roses version. There's some good songs on here, but that is not one of them. The next one, Gary from Physical Format Rock and Roll. Look away, please. That's Olivia Newton-John's title tune, Have You Never Been Mellow, which I dislike the title for one thing. Shouldn't it be Have You Ever Been Mellow? And they said, no, I've never been mellow. But for some reason, that always bugs me, and the whole song is just doesn't sound right. And the song's pretty boring, if you ask me. But anyway, Have You Never Been Mellow, Olivia Newton-John. A song I do not really care for. Next, from an album I really like, but it's from the U2 album, No Line on the Horizon. Is actually song 6, Get On Your Boots, which was actually the lead single off here. And I think it is the worst song on the album, if you ask me. It's kind of clunky. Does it even have a melody at all? It's just kind of a mishmash. And it's probably my least favorite U2 song. Get on your boots. Get off your boots. All right, next is from Phil Collins and his album No Jacket Required. And it's the title track, which was actually a single. Susudio. Is that even a word? And I don't even know if there are any other lyrics, because I just get tired of him saying that one word. Susudio. It's just one of my least favorite songs. It's just an irritating song, and all right, that's one. And next is it's been called the worst song of all time on some lists, and it's Paul Anka. Yeah, I actually have a Paul Anka album. Paul Anka's, if I can find it on here, You're Having My Baby. which is sappy, sentimental, beyond belief, but it's also sexist in a way. It shouldn't be having our baby, which I guess he did later on when he was doing it live, changed the lyrics some. It's also in there, she didn't have to keep it, but she did it for me. And truly awful song by Paul Anka, Having My Baby, or You're Having My Baby. Next is a song that was actually number 452 on Rolling Stone's Greatest Songs, which I can't believe. And I actually saw some places where some people call this maybe the greatest rock or pop song of all time. I go, you've got to be kidding, which made me dislike it even more. And that's from Toto, and it's the song, last song there, Africa, which I just kind of never get into that song. The music's kind of okay. But and the musicians on Toto are actually really good musicians. But I don't know if they realize Africa is actually a continent, because they talks about I pray for the rains in Africa, or I don't know how they say it, or something like that. But it's like saying bless the rains in the United States, or bless the rains in Europe. And actually, talking the song about, I know these guys are from LA, but they talk about Serengeti and seeing Mount Kilimanjaro from there, which you cannot see from there. But they tried. I guess the Sahara and the Serengeti wouldn't mind getting some rain, blessing the rain there in Africa. But I don't like that song. Might be a little surprised because I do like my 50s and 60s tunes, but it's going to be from the Dave Clark 5, and it's the song Bits and Pieces. I don't know what it is about the song. I don't know how many times they say bits and pieces, but it just sounds like a throwaway song to me. But it was like number 4 on the U.S. charts. I have a hard time believing that. But supposedly a couple of the band members were drunk when they recorded it. That might be the best way to listen to it as well. But yeah, Bits and Pieces, not my favorite. And next I had to include something from one of my all-time favorite artists. I think the best songwriter ever. That's Bob Dylan. And the song, I don't know if you can see it on this because it's hard to see. But he has a song called Wiggle Wiggle on this Under the Red Sky, which is probably my least favorite Dylan album as well. But I can't believe this great lyricist has to sing Wiggle Wiggle like 55 times, and that's a good song. But yeah, Wiggle Wiggle, atrocious. All right, so now to bring some positivity, and this is from Gary Physical Format Rock and Roll's thread, 5 overplayed songs that you still love. And the first one I'm going to show is The Who and Who Are You? I love me a good detective show or a good murder mystery, but I like them more with quirky characters. Like a lot of the British ones, or The Mentalist or Monk, solving the. So I didn't watch CSI, this was the theme song. I think the theme tune from CSI. Maybe you would get a little tired of it if you heard it every single time you watch CSI, but I didn't. But I still think that I would love it even after that. And they did get away with using a cuss word in the lyrics. Most of the time on the radio stations, you do not see that song blocked out. But anyway, Smoke, Who Are You is my first. My second example is from the Deep Purple album Machine Head. And of course, it's Smoke on the Water, probably the most famous guitar riff in rock, or one of the most famous. Dun, 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 dun. And, talks about they're trying to record in Montreux, and it's just a great tune, and I don't care how many times on classic rock radio they've played it, I still love it. Next, it's from Head East, and the tune, Never Been Any Reason. I still like it. It's their most famous song, played a lot, especially here in the Midwest, it was played a lot. I always thought they were from St. Louis, but they're from like middle Illinois. But anyway, the strange thing is that it wasn't a big hit single, even though it got played a lot on classic rock radio. Their biggest single was actually the Russ Ballard tune, Since You've Been Gone. That was actually a hit for Rainbow as well, but it was actually the biggest charting tune by Head East was that song, Since You've Been Gone. Even more, but they're really not known for that song. And next from Derek and the Dominoes, you know the tune, Layla. I love hearing the outro as well. I'll listen to the whole thing. The only bad part about that is that's the song that gets played the most, and maybe Bell Bottom Blues. But this whole album is full of great tunes. But Layla, I think, maybe has Eric Clapton's best singing on that. But yeah, everybody knows this album. It's one of the great double albums ever. Derek and the Dominoes, Layla, and other assorted love songs, and love the Layla tune. And another of my favorite artists, and that's Warren Zevon from his album Excitable Boy. Of course, his most favorite, if I can talk here, his most famous tune is Werewolves of London. Became the tune that he was really known for, but still a great tune. Even Kid Rock borrowing it didn't even bother me. Love the live version as well, where he references Brian De Palma in the song. But yeah, Werewolves of London, still love that tune. Has that great intro. And anyway, those are my 5 that I still love, no matter how many times they've been played. And then, of course, the negative side was the 10 tunes I do not like. But I hope everyone's doing well. I'll put a link below to Gary and Brian's original videos, and hope everyone's doing well, as I said.